Good morning. Welcome to our homestead. I'm down behind our barn right now. Today I'm going to talk about a couple of different methods of composting. These composting methods will also help feed your chickens. So what I have here, this is a biopod, and this is a small form of a bigger one I'm going to show you, but this is a composter. So we put all kinds of food debris in here. It has a liftable, slidable lid on the top. It has a place down here for liquids to come out, and the liquid is a powerful fertilizer. So what happens is, as this breaks down food, any kind of food waste, you can put meat, chickens, fish, kitchen scraps, anything in here, and the bugs end up, the little black soldier fly larvae end up in this pail. So on the inside of this, you can see there are, if I can hold this up here, there are two ramps on the sides. So as this builds up in compost and the black soldier flies are laying their larvae in here, they climb up these two ramps and then fall into this pail. So it's an excellent way to get some black soldier fly larvae on your homestead and feed your own, something's biting me, and feed your chickens as well as compost. So the smaller one is great for being close to the house and having you know, a ready source to put your food waste in. So it's really handy. Now for attracting the black soldier fly larvae, the black soldier flies are not a trash fly. In fact, they will actually repel trash flies, as will the composting liquid that comes out on the other end of this. So when the compost gets full and it's broken down, and then you can take what's left in here and dump it in your compost, which is what I'm going to do next with our larger one. So I'm going to set this one aside and show you what we have going on. So this is the same concept. This is just a larger version of the one I showed you just a minute ago. And we have been putting stuff in here since we moved to this new homestead for just about a year. So we keep this is an old piece of siding we keep on the top. It's got little grooves in it that will allow the black soldier flies to actually get in. Down here, as I'll show you a better picture in just a second, but there's two ramps in here. The black soldier fly larvae follow that ramp up because that's just part of their life cycle. They want to go up so they get ready to be in their next phase of life. There's this tube here and a bucket, and this bucket is where we capture the black soldier fly larvae. So let me give you a better close-up of this. Now, this one is actually full. It's not being very productive right now, so I'm going to be moving it and dumping this into an outdoor compost and starting this one again. So just dumping all kinds of food waste and grass clippings and everything in here. And then you can see the ramps on the sides, and that's where the black soldier fly larvae will climb up. They go into that tube, they fall through and into this bucket. So this one not being as productive as it should, I'm going to be moving it today using my trusty Yanmar tractor. So I'm going to move it to its new spot, get this one dumped out, and set it up fresh. In case you couldn't see the smaller one, I'm going to give you a little bit better view of it from here. So again, this is the lid where you can put food waste in there. It has a lid. One of the screws keeps popping out here. We've had this one for years. And you can see the ramps in there. And it's got this little screen at the bottom that keeps the debris from clogging up the drain tube, which is right down here. So the liquid comes out of that drain tube, and we keep a bucket underneath it to capture that. Again, that's a super potent fertilizer. I recommend diluting that 20-to-1. It's that strong. And here's the little catcher that the bugs go in. This is a trademarked product. It's called Biopod. The other one is a Biopod as well. But you can find out about these online and possibly how to order one for your homestead. So this compost is super heavy and not something I can carry to where our outdoor compost is to keep this cycle going. So I'm going to move my little cover out of the way. I'm going to move my capture bucket out of the way. And then I'm going to pick it up with the tractor and take it where it's going to go. So just a bucket with a lid and that tube, and your black soldier fly larvae end up in this bucket. All right, so this is our composting location. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this upside down, dump out the compost contents out of the biopod and get it restarted. And then I can take my other compost that's under the white tarp, add it to this, and keep on composting. That worked out pretty well. So I was able to get it flipped over using the tractor and dump out these contents. And I'll show you, I'll bring it over and show you what this looks like. But it's pretty well broken down. And on the inside of this, the other thing about this that you can do, so I mentioned getting the fertilizer liquid out of the other one, the smaller biopod. On this one, there's holes in the bottom that let some of the moisture, some of the water drain out. You could put a catchment under it to catch that and use that as fertilizer as well. It's a really good biofertilizer. So I'm going to put this back on the tractor, take it back up, and get it restarted. So before heading back up to take this, I'd forgotten I wanted to start it with some grass clippings. But in the meantime, while I'm doing this, I wanted to stir this up a little bit, kind of break this up. We had a bunch of sticks and grass clippings and all kinds of stuff in here, so I need to go through this and maybe take out some of these larger sticks that ended up in there. And we can get it started with our food waste and start over again. There were a lot of eggshells and stuff, but I will integrate this material with our compost. This is our compost pile here. I've done several videos on composting. But for right now, I'm going to get some of these grass clippings where I just mowed this area in front of our garden, and I'm going to use some of this in this biopod to get it started again. So there's all kinds of different ways and methods to compost. Excellent for your homestead. Excellent way to get some extra food for your chickens. I've even got biochar. I've got chunks of biochar in here. So that gets inoculated as well. So when I have, I'll make another video on how to do biochar, how to make it at home. It's actually really easy. It's a great inoculant. But for today, we're gonna stick with getting this biopod back up our hill here and get these black soldier fly larvae going again so we can create compost and feed our chickens at the same time. Really love this concept. Can't tell you how extremely well this works. So if you're handy, you could probably make your own. The whole concept is, you know, as I showed you in those two biopods, both the big one and this big one and the smaller one, the whole concept is they need a place for the material to break down, and they need some kind of a ramp to get up to an exit, and they need to fall into some kind of a container so that you can catch those black soldier fly, and you can see the beautiful black compost that this system makes. So you may be able to see also down here on the ground, I have 3 cinder blocks that I keep this sitting on to keep it up off the ground. And so you could put a catchment thing under this very easily to catch additional fertilizing material. All the liquid that comes out, as I was mentioned earlier, is a great source of fertilizer, a liquid fertilizer. So in setting this guy up, just going to put it back where it was, which is much lighter now. I can actually handle it and move it. The other thing is when you have a biocomposter, you don't want to let it dry out. Just like your compost, you don't want your compost to get dried out. So we, on the homestead here, we raise chickens. We have quite a few chickens, and we soak their feed. We soak their grain. So each day when we take that water from soaking the grain and we strain out the feed, so we just have the water left, we take that bucket of water and we also dump that in our compost. So it has some minerals in it from the feed, plus the water, and so that helps keep this thing active and going. So let me get this guy set back up. All right, so I got it in place. It's on its bricks. I'm gonna take my bucket. We keep a rock in this bucket just because it's heavy. There's a rock in the bottom of our catch pan here, and so that helps keep animals from knocking it around, knocking it over. And the net lid does snap on, so I'm gonna slide my lid back up on my tube, put the bucket underneath that tube, snap my lid down, and last but not least, I'm going to put the cover back on it. As I said, anything will work as a cover if yours doesn't come with one. This one didn't. We got this from Trinity Haymarket originally in Dallas. So it didn't have a lid. So you could use anything as the lid as long as it has some kind of grooves and ways for the black soldier fly to get in. So there's gaps in here that allows them to get in. And on that lid, I also, as we do live out in the woods, I also keep a rock on it, and that helps keep critters from knocking this off and getting inside of it. So that's it. Another way to compost. We're using the biopods to feed chickens. We're using the biopod to compost all our household waste and materials. Grass clippings, you can put anything in this. And the larger one, of course, once it's full of compost, if you need to relocate it or move it, I use my trusty Yanmar T235 tractor. I've got the forks on the front, the snap-on or the clamp-on type, and it makes short work of this. The only other thing I can think of to let you know on this is that, I do have to move it, to where our actual garden and our composts are, but you could set this up near your actual garden and compost. But for us, this makes more sense because it is a long walk from here to the garden and from the house to that area. So we feed chickens, we bring all that stuff down here every day. So this is a logical location. So think about your location where you would put something like this, and I hope you'll have a great time using a biopod and making all your composting dreams come true. I hope you'll like our video, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell for notifications when we create new content. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.